What's up, guys? Wanted to make this video. Saturday it is. Really chill. Now it's starting to look nice outside. We got a hammock set up. I lay here quite a bit nowadays. Been kind of like taking it easy. This is a special video. It's gonna be a huge rant. Me and a friend of mine were actually brainstorming. I got some notes here for a couple of just like side business ideas we were brainstorming that would be easy for us to get into and see if it can turn into something. And also more towards, a few of them is more towards just leveraging the skills we have already as like marketers, knowing like what comes with like owning an agency and everything, and using that to get into maybe some like strategic partnerships that can work out well. Right? Win-win situations, stuff like that. So I just wanted to make this video, kind of get my thoughts out loud and have it on deck in that way. So first, let's run through it. This is going to be very random to some of you because it's just like shit we just came up with over like talking on the phone and stuff, and like just brainstorming over a day or two, kind of see like how each thing sounds, right? So let me brush through it. Number one, buying a brick-and-mortar business. Number two, real estate, getting into real estate. Number three, paying a sales rep to sell websites. And number four, partnering up with a roofer, or the one that I've like contemplated on, because just being in this business, you come across those deals from time to time. Number five, partnering with a roofer, but commercial. And number six, courses, info marketing. So I roll my eyes at the last one a little bit because that's one that I've obviously been asked in this channel several times and thought about it here and there. But I think today I'll be the first time I actually give my honest thoughts on it a little bit more in depth. So those are the things in the pot. So what I'll do is I'll just like brush through them a bit more in detail, and we can just go through like why it made it on the list, and then go into like what are my actual thoughts on it, right? I'll start with the worst, what I personally think are the worst out of the ones that are in the list, and go up, and number one will be the best, the one that I actually have a good chance of getting into. So let's get started. Number one, I think the worst one out of the list, out of these six, is paying a sales rep and to sell SEO. So I'll start with that. And the reason it made it on the list, so let's start with that, is because we were thinking like, hey, a lot of these agencies here, they just sell websites. They charge anywhere from 3, 5, sometimes as high as 8, 10 grand for just a website, right? And here I am selling sites for $500, $750. A lot of the clients I have, I give the website for free. You know, the SEO deal is over $1,500 to $1,000. The website means a lot to them. I just go with, hey, if you make a decision today, we will waive the website fee, which is usually valued at $2,500 to $1,000. That will be on the house. And I have closed deals like that, right? So we're thinking like, all right, we usually charge really less to nothing, and these guys are selling at a really high price. And we're thinking like, a lot of times if your SEO price is like around $1,000, but the website you charge $5,000, that's like a 5-month contract for a SEO deal, but you're just getting upfront for just the website. So it can be like really good. So we're thinking that if we get a sales rep and they're just going around for local businesses, and all we do is make the websites for them, right? Whether it be in two models. One is a low monthly fee, so like $200-300 per month. My friend actually has some experience in that, having like low, accounts that only pay monthly, very low amount, $200-300, like I said, with a few maybe other things. Maybe you have like a review package or something like that, and then you charge them like that much, and then it's like recurring, or $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for the whole website build, and it'll be pretty easy to deliver on because we I have an agency doing this shit, and that'll be it, right? Just pass it to the team. They go through the process, build out the website, completes, revisions come in, boom, done, and boom, upfront fee. And that's how this came on the list, right? With a sales rep. And maybe the commission structure would be something like either on full commission. Okay, so if they do monthly website, they maybe get like 2 months up front and that's it. So they get like $600 right then for every website sale. Or if they sell it up front for $3-4 grand, maybe they'll get like 30% just up front like that, right? They'll get like $1,200-1,500, boom, for one sale. That was the idea, right? Now, the reason why it's the last thing on the list for me is because it's not that easy. I think that getting a sales rep on commission is not as easy as we think. If you look at like businesses, and from my experience, even from roofers I work with, contractors in general, getting a good sales rep a lot of times is the most difficult part of their business. And yeah, I mean, that's one of the main things. Like if we get a sales rep who's going around, we have to make sure that they are up and running. So you have to put that upfront work, at least for the first couple of weeks. I might even have to go out with them and just like really make sure they're good and they're being able to get it. And you can't really not handhold until they're able to pay their bills, right? In America and here, it's more like $1,500, $2,000 on the like lower side, right? If they're doing this full time, they need to get to that point when then you can just maybe like make sure they're good, they're hitting their numbers on the spreadsheet or whatever, how you're managing it, and that would be all, right? Maybe they just like send you a message at the end of the day on WhatsApp or something, and that'll be it after they're good. So that's why it's in the last thing in my list, because you'd have to do that upfront handholding. Moving on. The second thing that I'll be getting into on the list is either real estate or buying a brick and mortar business, right? So I've touched on real estate a bit. I did a little bit more research here and there. And really the biggest thing that holds me back from real estate is just not knowing enough. Like what it comes down to is I'm not interested enough, I think. Because whenever I'm really interested in something, like I have an easy time reading up on it and really diving in and learning all about it. I haven't felt that with real estate. I've been kind of trying, not that it's out of the thing, but I'm just like, getting into it slowly, right? The reason why it still is not the last thing, even though I'm not interested, is because it's real estate. I know that it has a lot of, still has a huge statistics behind it. There's a lot of room for success and whatnot. So I would say that would be the second thing. And the only reason the brick and mortar would be above real estate is because it would be more interesting to me. Personally, when I look at these two things, it'll be really awesome to be able to see how the SEO and marketing side of things actually plays a part in a local business, like, in a small local business, right? Where you can see every growth from the SEO side, every like major growth on the SEO side actually have an impact in the real world, right? So it would be usually things like delis. We'd probably look at deli, laundromats. That was what we talk about. The other one was like a car mechanic, and maybe even like a juice shop or something, right? We try to stay away from food because there's so many factors in the food industry. But if it's like, like a small deli, and you just need to make sure that one person stays in there, and they're doing their job, and it's running well, and we make a decent buy, but then we just grow it, so, rank the shit out of it and everything, has a lot of reviews and all that whatnot, it could be interesting. And the other thing in this equation with the real business is that I have a client who has been doing this for like a decade, and this is all the guy does. He has like 6 or 7 businesses, small businesses. One of them is a roofing company. That's how I got involved. And all he does is more like a consultant, and he does the marketing side. So for the roofing one, he doesn't do anything but like he pays my fee, and then that's it. And he keeps the profit in the middle. And that's one of the reasons why I realized that this kind of thing is possible, because for the business to run and grow while paying him like half of the profits, just from him being like that kind of consultant and doing some hirings and making sure the management is going well a little bit, but more to the marketing side, I know that there's enough room within the profits for this kind of partnership to exist. So that's how that got in the list in the first place. And the other part of it is that, for me personally, the management side would be lowered because I have my friend, right? So that's why this is a 3-person kind of thing, right? There's the business that we would buy. Then there's the marketing side, which my team would be mostly doing, me and my team, right? And then there's still that bridging gap, right? Making sure that maybe for a deli, you might have to drive past it a couple times a week to make sure things are good. He's doing his job. Making sure whatever we put in place to get customer reviews are being handled properly, all that kind of stuff, right? So he's going to be the one that's like really managing and bridging that gap, which I don't personally want to really do. And that's how that can work out, right? So yeah, you know, I didn't really touch much on the real estate because really like it's kind of all over the place. That's why I'm just like juggling back and forth with these two things. This can be the, you know, last thing or the second last thing. You know, both of them can be swapped up for their position. I don't really know which one's like ahead. But the brick and mortar thing would be a lot more fun, I think, to me, like to be able to really like be able to see its growth and stuff like that. Real estate just depends, right? Like I even heard another type of deal where like, you know, up quite north from here, the houses are a lot cheaper and you can actually buy the entire house, like a small, slightly beat up house for like 60, 80 grand, buy it outright. Maybe spend another 10 to 15 grand to fix it up a bit and then like rent. Then all the rent that comes, there's no mortgage to pay. It's like a lot of, you know, high profit margin. And then get a local contractor. We have experience with that to fix up some stuff. And that could be something that works out pretty well. Okay. It's like looked at as something like where you spend, so if you were to split it, like around 30, 40 grand up front, and then you make back maybe like 2 to 3K a month. And then over like a year or two, you make your money back. And then after that, you could start making some profit. From what I know so far that we talked about, numbers, don't quote me on this shit. Don't quote me on any of this shit. I don't want anybody to comment below, well, actually, for a real business, the laws are like, I'm like, dude, I don't know shit. Okay, I'm just like, we're just brainstorming here, right? Just wanted to, yeah. So, where was I? Okay, all right, let's get back on. Sales rep, bottom of the list. Real estate or brick and mortar business, right after that. Then it gets into the more interesting things. Okay, so partnering up with a roofer. This is something that has come, you know, a lot of times. Anybody who's running an agency, they probably got offered this deal multiple times, right, by roofers. And the thing to remember here is that most of the times, the type of roofer that offers you these things are people who are generally not good at business, right? They're probably just not running the stuff. They're just like all the ones that I've been asked to partner up in that way from their side have always been people that I look back has been kind of shitty at business. Like they're probably still right around where they are, where I talked to them last year. They're probably still doing the same shit, probably still trying to work, make flyers work and all that kind of stuff only, and yeah. So the key thing here is you really have to find the roofer, right? So to give you an idea of how much of an asset that guy has to be, is I did the calculation in my head out of all the clients, right? Well, I've got about like 30 clients. Who I would pick only came up about 2 in my mind, right? So what I realized is, you know, there's few qualities. I've done a little of research, meaning I talked to a few of my clients about this. And the main quality is if they're really good at sales, right? Is the person phenomenal at sales? If they're really good at sales, the second thing would be something like if they're good at, you know, the management side, right? Can they get crews and stuff? Are they a little bit savvy on the whole organization part, right? Are they into CRM? Like, you know, do they see the need for a CRM? If the guy's like one of those guys like, what is CRM? Probably not a good fit. Probably not a fucking good fit. If they're really on a little bit, you know, a bit more savvy on the management side, they understand how businesses work and kind of like a bit more systems minded. Doesn't have to be like how we are with like Trellos and shit. Obviously, systems minded in a real construction business for whatever that is, and they know where the crews are. They're good with people. They can manage all that stuff. Then you're probably on the way to find that person. Now, it's hard to find that person because you're talking about finding somebody who pretty much has everything it takes to grow the whole business themselves, but you're just getting on early in the process and really selling them of how much of a help you can be with all your marketing and everything. And on the management side, you can help out, like my friend, helping him out with whatever that's, bridging that gap. And then they come on board. Then it will struck a really good partnership where, here, we got a phenomenal sales rep, and for that, we might start searching for actually people who are top sales reps in companies, right? Like if a big ass company doing 50 million, they have like a couple hundred sales reps. If they're on the top 10 out of the salespeople, that's a good place to start. If we can convince them to start their own thing and then we're going to help out, that can lead to some good shit. So that's where that comes in, and it's, third on my list because hey, I know this thing, right? This is like pretty much as close as can be. I have all the systems for a roofing business. Alright guys, had to pause this. Computer's running out of battery. So yeah, I mean that's basically, it's self-explanatory why it's high on the list. It's what I have the most experience with, and basically be able to finally, my phone is ringing, 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Oh my god, that was a long conversation. I don't know how somebody had my home phone. It's like a little land phone that I only use when I'm like doing sales and stuff. I don't really even keep my phone anymore with me. I'll actually make a video about this. Literally the best decision I made this year. Anyways guys, to get back into it, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I talked about roofing a bit. It's what I would be leaning towards the most in this entire thing. Now, the only reason the other thing is above a roofing partnership, which is a commercial roofing partnership, is because if you guys don't know, if residential, the average sale is around $10, $12, $15,000, commercial can be from $300,000 to $1 million job. Like, it's not unheard of. Profit margins are a little bit lower. We're talking about like whatever, 15, 18% in commercial, where residential might be 30, 40%. But if you're doing $1 million job, 18% is fucking a lot more. So I don't know much about actually marketing for a commercial side of things. Like residential is pretty simple. If you're like, if you're ranking Google Maps, have a good reputation, it just goes like that, and everything that I normally do. Commercial, a lot of it is by doing bids and whatnot, but I would like to, possibly go in that venture and try to get in the real world a little bit more. And that's why, again, a friend of mine would be helping with like lead generation in the real world. What is the bidding system like, whatever, and how do roofers normally go about it? And then if we can bridge that gap digitally, I know a lot of companies do it through AdWords, but what it would look like on the SEO side, or even AdWords, whatever it is, but being able to have a funnel that even if it takes a hit up to like whatever, like $1,000 on our side before it gets a job in, it would make insane profits, right? So that's the entire direction with that, partnering up with that person, make sure they're solid in sales, management, overall team leader, and then striking up a deal where, however it is, if they have a partnership, they probably won't be, giving like a three-way split. It probably, like, even though we'd like to think that would work, like, hey, after all expenses, profit margin, can we split it 3 ways? Might not work. It's not that easy, right? I'm pretty sure the roofing side has a lot of expenses. They have to do not just the sales, but the management and crews and whatnot. Even after profit margin, maybe they would be fair to them, keep a bigger chunk. But whatever it is, even if we are left with like 25% of the profit margin, right? Net profit, it still might work out from the numbers that I put together. It's just going to come down to how well the company's managed, average sales, what they're selling it at, and then lastly, like, how transparent everything is, right? Because in the end, whether if you're not dealing with honest people, or people who are like semi-honest, even they think they're being honest and they just like are not showing everything, it can be not that great, right? If you're getting a lot of repair calls and you're doing residential, you could go under. Whereas like for a big client, it's like kind of guaranteed you're gonna get 3K, 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 3K every month. So it's not all like hunky-dory, definitely going to work out and be the best. But if you're able to leverage it properly and things are really transparent with honest people who are good at what they do and they can sell high and well and consistently, there's obviously a much bigger chance to do a lot of volume there, right? So that's that, and that's probably my number one. The one I missed out is the last one, which is gone. So roofing, commercial roofing, this kind of like combination is probably my number one, right? The thing that I missed and forgot to talk about is the courses, right? So that's like the bonus one, right? Bonus one, and courses would probably fit in right after a roofing one, right? So worst is okay, best is roofing, commercial roofing partnership. Second best could be something like courses. Third is like real estate. Third and fourth is like real estate and a local business. Fifth would be paying a sales rep for selling websites and shit. Leaves the last one. What are we at? 20 minutes. Yeah, not that bad. I thought it was going to be a very long video. Courses, right? So, as I said, I have been, like prompted for this several times, making an actual kind of step-by-step guide for whether it be selling SEO. I myself have actually thought about and talked to with great detail with one of our clients. Like we spent at least like over the time 5 to 6 conversations just on this topic. So at least like 3 to 4 hours have been invested in this idea, which is putting together a program for roofers, right? I could make a course quite easily, right? I mean, not say quite easily. I'm not saying like I know everything how to run a business for a course, but I'm saying like at least I know the value would be there. If I made it for SEOs, like, if I made a course for you guys of, hey guys, look, this is how I'm going to be selling. And I'm talking about really making a course, not just like, putting a few videos together where I do share exactly what I do. But if I had to really make a course, I would be like really dissecting every single objection that has come across from thousands of phone calls and the best rebuttals in the SEO line of talk that I've gave that worked out. Again, presentations would be like, what, I have like about recorded 12, 13 videos, like fully 1 hour recorded videos of me closing my clients, and also a bunch of videos where I didn't close the clients. Those videos, if I was to just put down and maybe let's just mute the client's name, but it's the real videos, exactly what was responsible, the sales calls that closed clients, that would be a good amount of value. So if I had to put that all together with a step-by-step guide all the way with a little bit of mindset, let's say, and my mindset really would be more like schedule dynamics, right? Like waking up, things to do in the beginning of the day, diet a little bit. I don't want to go too much in like that direction. I know there's like a lot of information, all that stuff already there. I'll probably just be sharing my stuff and then it'll get right into the course. Anyways, I don't know why I'm like planning so much out. You can tell that I've put some thought into this finally. But it's something that I'm not really that into, to be honest. Like personally, I wouldn't, as of right now, I'm still not that kind of person who would be okay with being that kind of like, like a course creator for whatever that, just take it for whatever it is. Not really my personality, right? I love when I'm selling for the agency. It's my most fun thing to do so far in this whole business. And I like doing this shit, right? Like I like doing that. Course where you're actually responsible for other people getting results is kind of like a little bit more fearsome to me. I don't know why. But as I was saying, I know that I could provide value, right? Like even when my brother was coming to America, I had it in mind that, all right, this guy doesn't know shit about business. It took me like, 4 years I wasted in college, then 1 or 2 years where I was like life insurance, not doing stuff, and then I got into business and things blew up. So if I could save him like all that stuff just by taking him into this process and showing him the way, right? I was like 100% sure, but he wasn't interested. So I know for beginners or people who are having trouble starting the agency or getting their first couple of clients, whatever it is, maybe you have like 1 or 2 clients and you want to like have a predictable system. I know I can provide value there and like teach that part because it's what I did, right? And I've fell off of it multiple times, then gone through the cycle of questioning if I can do it again, and then did it again. So I know like the thing really like pretty well from the sales side, right? So anyways, that's where that is. That's where I would say would be the easiest for me to be in a position to create course, because I can provide the value and then I'm talking to me. I'm talking to my target market, who is me. So it's like basically what I would be giving myself if I was a year back. So it's very easy, the communication. All right. So that's one side of the thing. The other side, which I cut myself out of, the one I was saying 2 minutes ago, is I spoke to a client of mine, a couple hours at least over time, chunks here and there, is to create a course for roofers, right? Where he would be doing an A to Z on how he grew his company from literally like, I think like $400,000 for the year. Like he was like a one-man guy, barely doing anything. $300,000 to $400,000 revenue in a roofing company is very small. And he grew to about this year on track to do 3.1 million, right? He's like at 2.6 or something already. And he wanted to really make that part, and the part where I would be taking is the digital marketing part, right? So I would be doing that part where basically like, you know, like teaching them the basics of having good, whatever it comes down to, like, you know, having your GMB optimized all the way down to some stuff, what techniques work with us to generate reviews, whatnot, all that kind of stuff, right? I would lean towards that, honestly, a little bit more. And only simple fact being is because the program would probably sell at a much higher thing, right? For SEOs, I would say like anywhere from $997 is the most go-to, right? To like maybe $3,000, where like after that the courses just become too expensive. And for the roofing, the starting point would be something like 5K, right? All the way up to like 9, 10, 12K is not a big deal for a roofing company if they really see the value. That's one job for them, right? So yeah, like that's one of the main things, you know, like it's just where the price point of the course would sit would allow us to put a lot more into it. And then you know, basically selling it is like kind of like I already know the channels, right? I'm not really even sure how to sell to SEOs yet. Like I know SEO, I know how to sell SEO. I'm pretty sure I can figure out how to teach SEO and put it into a program. But what about marketing to SEOs? Like I get marketed all the time. Now I'm going to be on the other side of the table. That's kind of, I don't know. I'm not really sure how it sits with me, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. Kind of been thinking about overall. The last thing is going to be more of a solo thing. My friend would not be involved as much. You know, he's not really like just doing SEO with roofing or anything like that. He's overall like has an agency, but all the other stuff, it would be working out way better if I had a partner. But yeah, you know, hope this was entertaining at the least. It's just what Shipka can do, might do, leaning towards as a side thing ongoing forward. I would highly appreciate anybody who takes the time. If you normally don't comment on my videos but you watch it, please comment if you want, like for this one, because it'd be interesting to see what you guys think. If some of the stuff I said is downright stupid, just call me out on it. I don't mind, right? I'd just like to see what the thoughts are. Give me some feedback, especially on the last two, I would say. Like, what do you guys think about, you know, if you guys ever did any kind of partnerships with a contractor, whatnot, or what you'd think if I was to actually do a course for SEOs, course with roofers in that direction, right? Like I never leveraged this channel like for monetary value. I don't even run ads on it, and I still don't know if I'm okay with doing that. You know, this channel has provided me a lot of benefit, just being able to brain dump my ideas. It's been my digital journal, and I got pretty good with just being able to let my mind loose and not think too much. And it's kind of just like, you know, me thinking out loud. So if I was to go that direction, it kind of would be, you know, geared towards, you know, selling to SEO and stuff like that. So I don't know if that would, like, you know, take that away from me. Give me some feedback on that. Honestly, I would probably, like, for the people who watch this channel, if I was to make a course, I'll probably give like the first 5, 10 for free just to get feedback, right? Because I don't want to get into selling something that doesn't absolutely like knock people's socks off. Honestly, like if I had to make a product like that, I would really put it out to be in that level, because it's just like what, in a way, it's an SEO's dream, right? Because we're constantly having to create a great product in an industry that's always changing. So it's always being swept up under your feet and you're being on top of it. Well, this is like almost like a fun thing in a way when you think about how good and how much value can you really put if you had to only make the product once, right? So to speak. I'm sure there's going to be different versions of it, but like if you have to only that is the end product and people just go through that one thing, I'm pretty sure you can make it a lot more concise and thorough. So yeah, guys, I'll leave it at that. It's 30 minutes. I don't want to go much more into that, but I would highly appreciate some feedback. Peace.